Where's Purpose Opinion. And on this video, I want to talk about why now is actually one of the best times to quit your job. And look, the global economic order is fragmenting in real time. Trump's tariff threats, all nations shifting towards nationalism, focusing on their own population, rejecting this globalism idea, free trade idea that has existed throughout the world in the last almost a century, right? Ever since the end of the Second World War. And so the world is economically fragmenting into different parts, and everyone's focused on their own nationals, their own locals. And yeah, so we are replacing globalism and free trade with nationalism and protectionism. And you can just look back. This is not the first time this has happened. This had happened before First World War, Second World War, before Second World War. Uh, every time this happened, it led to a depression, recession, decline of the economy, and usually all those things are followed with a lot of job layoffs. And so you want to get ahead of the curve, right? Obviously, you want to reject your job before it can reject you. And so I think in that sense, now is actually, if you were thinking for a long time, or if you recently started thinking about uh, leaving your job, now is actually a pretty good time to consider doing it. Because the world is not going to get any better in terms of economic um, employment outlook. So if you've considered leaving a job recently or in the past, I would say now is like one of the best times to consider doing it. And yeah, like obviously you need an income stream behind you if you want to leave your job and still live a normal life, right? Savings and all that helps, but you need to have a solid passive or partially passive income stream to go along with your savings and everything else, right? That's just very obvious. And yeah, so I know a lot of people are getting into monetizing content online, social media, YouTube, and all that. But uh, all of you who have a job or who worked in the past or who has a degree, thing is, all of you are unique. Okay? Whether you have a degree or not, whether you're good in your education or at your job or not, there is a certain part of you that's very passionate about a certain thing. You just have to dig deep and find out what was that thing for you. It could be in your childhood, wherever. Okay, for me, it was politics and finance. I've been interested in global politics for a long time, finance as well. Um, I do have a degree in engineering, but I've been passionate about trading, finance, and politics from a young age. So that's why I've chosen that as the topic for this channel. But like, you have to find out what's that thing that you have been passionate about from a young age, because more likely than not, that's gonna be the thing that you're good at, and likely gonna be the thing that you're gonna be able to provide value to the world. So yeah, but the other thing is you want to start this process as soon as possible. Okay, a lot of people delay this process. Okay, they think, oh, I have a stable job. I'll think about it later when I don't have work and blah blah blah. That's actually a big mistake, and I've made this mistake in the past. Okay, you want to start this process of creating a passive income stream or as passive as possible, because no income stream is going to be completely passive, right? But you want to make it as passive as possible, as soon as possible. And you want to start as soon as possible. That's the main thing, because it's gonna take time. You're not gonna grow your content, your channel, your fan base, overnight or over a month or over even a few months. It might take even a few years. So when the recession hits and you lose your job, uh, you're gonna be in a panic mode. At least, even if you have savings or not, you're gonna be in a state of restlessness, and that's not gonna be the best time to start this process. Now, the world is shifting towards this nationalism and recession mode. Not there yet, but shifting towards that gear. Now is actually the best time to start this process, in my opinion. And like I said, you have to dig deep, find out what you were passionate about for the longest period of time, because more likely than not, that's going to be something that you're going to be good at and you're going to be able to provide value to for the world. Uh, like I said, it's going to be disheartening in the beginning. Like it's going to be demotivating, not getting views, people not following your channel, not giving likes and all that. That's part of the process. But you just have to doing what you do. Keep learning, keep uploading, keep posting, keep creating. And you just like believing in yourself when no one believes in you is the best guide to success in anything. Okay, because I've been there, and there's gonna be times when no one believes in you, makes fun of you and all that, but you believe in yourself when everyone else doesn't is what's gonna make or break the moment, basically. Okay, and yeah, so yeah, and you have to start as soon as possible. You can't wait until you don't have a job or you might get laid off, blah, 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 because it's coming. Okay. The number of people that are graduating from universities every year, sorry, the number of people that are graduating from universities around the world every year is vastly outpacing by far the number of jobs that are being created. In most cases, the number of jobs being created is negative, net negative in most countries right now. But the number of people that are graduating is vastly positive and big number. And so you have this big imbalance. And then some people are thinking that, you know, it doesn't matter. That doesn't apply to me. I have experience. I have this thing. It doesn't matter if you have experience or not, because as times get tough, every company will cut resource, cut cost, and labor cost is a big cost. So if they can replace an experienced worker with five inexperienced workers at half the cost or at less than the cost of one experienced worker, they're gonna do that. And that might seem like an exaggeration to you, but people are that desperate. Okay, when your parents have paid 100 grand for a degree uh, in USA, Canada, wherever, okay, you're desperate to do any job at any wage to get the experience. Okay, and so it's not that big of an exaggerated situation that I'm putting out there. And so you might say, "Oh, I have experience. It don't apply to me." Blah blah. But you just it will. Okay, it will apply to you. And yeah, so when it does come, because you have to understand, age will damage you. You're not gonna have the same energy when you're 40, 50 as you will when you're 30. And the older you get, the more you're tuned in your own ways. So there's a reason why this online content creation, the people who are good at this thing, online content creation, are young, because you have to be flexible, you have to be able to adapt, you have to be able to believe in yourself even when the society's and the stats are saying otherwise. Um, yeah, like you need that energy to stick around for the first few months or years. That's going to be tough and rough. You're not going to have that energy when you're 40 or 50. And so I would say the experienced people actually have it worse. for the recession that's coming. And yeah, that's just my personal take on that. But yeah, I just think that now is actually a pretty good time for you to start this process of getting rid of your job. Okay, and you know, and just you have to start somewhere. Okay, that's the important thing, because there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to tell you you're making a big mistake. But when you start making the big bucks, those are the same people that are going to run to you to get your advice. And so it really doesn't matter believing in yourself. And yeah, that's what matters. It doesn't matter what other people say, because at the end of the day, they're not going to give you money um, to feed yourself, right? You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to put food on your own table. So people's opinions are pretty worthless, in my opinion. Yeah, that's it for this one.